Straight from the BBC, here's Ian Forrester.
Okay, so I feel like I know you guys were not into the Speed Garage, but I absolutely love Speed Garage. I'm actually not a Speed Garage fan, but I feel like I should do a little dance now. Like show you how to really dance, but I'm not going to. Maybe I'll save it for later. What's that? Is that yes? Okay, enough, stop. Okay, so I'm here to talk about storytelling and AI. So, I work for BBC, and I work for R&D, which is research development. Isn't rhythm and dance, although after that dance, you could imagine it might be rhythm and dance, although you don't want to see the engineers dance, trust me. Okay, so R&D's been around for a long, long time. I think the fourth person who was hired by the BBC was an engineer, which became part of the R&D department. But this is about the future. And I think some of the stuff we're doing is a link to the past and to the future. So I prefer the word rather than AI, because AI's got so many connotations to it. I prefer the word machine learning. So I'm going to try and use machine learning, although I know that later on I do talk about AI, but that's a whole discussion we can have later if you want to. But it's about storytelling, which is this, and I'll explain why that picture, and the future. So, storytelling and media. Let's start with media first, because how does this all fit with AI? I'll get to the AI stuff later. So this is the future of storytelling. Actually, I want to ask you a question before I do carry on. How many people actually sit down and watch TV? Hands up. I can just about see, so. Okay. How many of you watch other media through other devices, aka not a television? Hands up. Okay, that's way more, which is really interesting. So this is the future of storytelling. Now, you may go, oh, yes, I don't know what year that was even created, but it's a long, long time ago. The thing about this is that you see a storyteller, and you see people, and they're engaged. Those two up there look very engaged. Anyway. I was looking at the picture, I was thinking, they look really into it. But the whole point is that there's someone who's got a story they're telling, and they're telling the story to the people. But it's more than that, and it's something that we've kind of forgotten. So if you look at storytelling, what you end up with is this idea, and especially us. So we're in this digital age, right? And as far as we're concerned, broadcast is where it was at. And we know about these books, the written words. We know about this stuff, right? But we don't really think about it. But there is this massive long legacy called oral storytelling. That goes way back, way back. And what we've done is we've forgotten about oral storytelling. So actually, right now, I'm doing a bit of oral storytelling, right? I'm telling you the history or the future of storytelling, okay? So there's something about the experience of someone telling you a story. And I'm aware that I'm on stage, and I want to do a dance, but I'm not going to, I promise. I might do one at the end, But there's something about standing there and you experience it. There's a reason why you're here, yeah? You could watch this on YouTube or wherever, okay? But you're here, there's experience, and it's immersive, it's engaging, it's participatory, One of you could stand up and go, Ian, you should do a dance. You should do your special move. Okay, nobody. Okay, fair enough, good. That's actually good. And it's adaptive. So I'm using all these things to tell the story. I'm changing the story. I'm changing what I say. I have slides, but the slides have no notes. I can literally change whatever I want about what I'm going to say, and I do, And this is the core of storytelling, and we've kind of forgotten that. So we've been working on this thing called adaptive media. So yes, the BBC is testing TV shows that adapt to your taste and personality. Yes, we kind of are. And we're testing. We're not doing this all the time. So I worked on this prototype called Perceptive Drama. So it's a very simple story. It's a 3-act structure. One person walks into a cafe, there's an exchange with another person, and then one person leaves the cafe. Very simple. You've seen it a million times, okay? But within that, there are 50,000 plus scalable experiences. Every single one of them makes sense, okay? Out of just that very simple sequence. The best way of explaining it is, rather than me blabber on, is to actually have my colleague Jasmine talk about it. So, next slide.
Our visual perceptive media project explores how to make content that is truly personal to you, changing to suit your preferences and aspects of your personality. The process of creating this adaptive content starts with a dedicated mobile app. Through data obtained from content like your listening habits and questions about your personality, a profile is built and stored in the cloud that the visual perceptive media web client can access to alter different aspects of the resulting film. The answers you give to the questions will shape the narrative flow of the film, as will aspects like your age and gender. The action may change in some scenes, or the shot may favour one character over another. Some scenes may be missing entirely. Data that reflects your general outlook will affect the appearance of the film. Meanwhile, individual media preferences, like listening history, will shape the film's score. At the moment, all the data is generated by the mobile app. However, in the future, the data could be generated by any number of services, and the object-based nature of perceptive media means it could respond to a user's mood in real time. The results are one film that can be tailored for everyone's individual preferences, and can give different repeat viewing experiences depending on factors like your location, the time of day, and your mood. New content experiences, like visual perceptive media, are only made possible by BBC R&D's research into advanced broadcast techniques, such as object-based media and IP production. The adaptive narratives are made possible by having a story made up of individual objects, which are assembled in your web browser using the app data as a guide. This approach to storytelling does not remove the creative process of filmmaking. Rather, it allows production teams to explore new modes of storytelling for diverse audiences. Visual perceptive media does not represent a new service. It is an example of how BBC Research and Development is examining truly new content experiences and exploring the needs and desires of BBC audiences both now and in the future. For more information on the Visual Perceptive Media project, please contact ian.forrester@bbc.co.uk.
Okay, thank you, Jasmine. So it's all about variations, not versions. It's not about baking out a million versions and then delivering each one, deliver another one, deliver another one. That is pointless. We all know that the same clips could be used in different ways, but we just don't do it. We kind of give it to an editor. The editor then creates a version, and then you create a Snapchat version, then you create a YouTube version, then you create another version, and then a version that goes out on a DVD, and then a version that goes out to cinema, and it's like, this is crazy. This is nuts. How about just create one version, okay, that will scale and change? So you're probably wondering, how do you get to 50,000? This is the maths. I'm not very good at maths, but there are there's two genres, 2 grades, and there's 3 moods. There's 14 different types of music, and there's loads and loads of different types of positioning, and there's different pacing. So we can change the pacing by changing the length of the clips and stuff like that. I can talk about it to death, but I'm not going to talk about it now. And just to give you an idea, this is 8 random variations. They're very close. So the green is music, and the purple bits are bits of video, okay? And you can see that they're slightly, they're just cut up into tiny little pieces, and they're arranged. So they all kind of are roughly about the same length, but some of them, as you can see, are not the same length. Yeah, so you actually end up with something that could be longer or shorter, which we'll talk about in a minute. So just want to give you an idea, to make it a bit more visual. Here is 4 random variations, which you'll see. You're going to see 4, and you're going to see that this exact same clips, but they have these different weighting and changes to them. So, here we go. There's no sound, but you can see that there's different starts. So that will start with a man, starts with a woman, then switches to the woman. This one starts with her already walking to the cafe. And these things, these little changes, is what cinematography is all about. A good cinematographer knows this, you know. Putting the first character being one character or another character, you naturally empathize with a certain character first because you kind of get kind of attached to them, okay? Then you show the other character. So if the man walks into the cafe, or so you're watching the man and he's in the cafe, he's playing with the bottles, and then this woman walks in, suddenly you'll feel more empathy with the man. But if you actually start with the woman and she's out in the playground and there's children running around and she's holding her belly and you're thinking, maybe she's pregnant, you know, suddenly, and then she walks and she sees this man who's like hanging over the barrier, suddenly you're thinking, hold on a minute, I feel for the woman. This is a trick that cinematography does really well. It's just that now we can rearrange it on the fly in real time. So as you see, it all gets to the same main point at the end. So, okay. So how does this all work? So basically what we do is we've got this thing called object-based media, which is what R&D's been working on. And what it is we blow up media into tiny little objects. What is an object? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so what is object? Object is media and metadata equals an object. Easiest way of explaining it, my colleagues hate it, but I'm going to use it anyway, is Lego bricks, okay? The thing about Lego, you can see 4 Lego bricks there. You can see the color, all right? You know what they are, okay? But there's always metadata. The metadata is stuff that's describable and is useful to a machine. So it's not just, oh, that's a yellow brick. The machine can understand that that's a yellow brick and what shape it is and stuff like that. And ultimately, if you put enough of these bricks together, you can start to make different things. So you can use the pool of bricks or objects, and you can start to make a house, you can make a car, you can make different experiences, ultimately. And the nice thing about all this is that you can do this yourself. Everything that I'm talking about, so whenever you see this kind of purple and green kind of underline in all the prototypes we have, that is an open source project that we've made. You can go to GitHub and you can go do that right now. If you want to know more information, just contact me. So, here's another example, an accessibility example.
Forrester from the BBC R&D labs demonstrates how a new approach to delivering programs would open the door to more personal, flexible experiences for our audiences. In this demonstrator, we transmit each of the media elements separately, and because of this, we have the ability to control each of these individual elements in isolation from one another. The timeline tracks you see at the bottom of the footage represent the timelines for each media object in the forecast. To illustrate this, you can see how the on-screen graphics can be toggled on or off, or the whole backdrop removed to reveal the raw green screen footage. By delivering content in this way, one of the biggest potentials lies in the enhancement of accessibility. Replacing the standard presenter with a signer as a first-class presence in the video, for example. Or rearranging the on-screen graphics when subtitle elements are present to avoid overlap. You could also change the background map to a higher contrast view to aid the visually impaired. If media were delivered in this way, we could also have the footage adapting to suit your screen size, rather than forcing a single aspect ratio or font size on all devices. Here, we can see how a mobile portrait view would look, with a larger font size and a rearranged view to include more of the map. In the future, we could also link content to your personal calendar or other third-party data services and feature relevant local information. As you can see, the ability to send media elements or objects separately rather than as a single video stream gives much greater flexibility for playback, allowing content to automatically adapt to the screen size and preferences of the viewer. The flexibility of an object-based approach won't just benefit audiences though. BBC R&D is also testing how it could make production more efficient, giving program makers time to flex their creative muscles in new ways. We hope you've enjoyed this sneak peek into the potential of IP production in the future. This demonstrator does not represent a new service and has used non-broadcast maps and feeds only.
Yeah, you hear that a lot, sorry. Okay, so yeah, it's sending it, and it makes sense, right? I mean, you know, you turn your phone and then why would you then squeeze all this stuff into that aspect ratio? It's obvious, right? But we're not doing it because we think about media as this kind of solid block. It doesn't have to be that way, you know. Variables are really important, and we can do some amazing things with variables. And the thing about variables is that, especially when you apply it to other things that are external, like context, you can do some amazing things. Like if you are driving to work and you're listening to a podcast, and the podcast can adapt and change based on your journey and how long the journey is taking and stuff like that, that will be an experience that your customers may be really interested in and may really want. But the thing about it is that it's still on rails. There's still a director. There's still a reason. It's not like there's some AI just doing this stuff randomly, because it's about storytelling, masterful storytelling. Yeah, the art of storytelling is not gone. It goes back to how we used to tell stories. Yeah, we've just forgotten now. So, some of you are wondering, where's the AI, Ian? What's going on? You know, this is all lovely. I love all this stuff, but where's the AI? Where does this all fit? Or machine intelligence. If you know where this is from a film called Sunspring. They basically got an AI, or they got some machine learning to look at a load of scripts and then basically make a script that they acted out. It is appalling. I highly recommend you watch it because it's hysterical. Because ultimately, it's about, if you feed it garbage, you get garbage out, you know? If you start to feed it, this is a shot, this is what this shot is about, this is, you know, those kind of, the level that we're going at, suddenly you get much more better results. It's weird that it was over 20 years that Deep Blue beat Kasparov, you know? And actually, Kasparov says, don't fear intelligent machines. And I kind of agree with him. But creativity and art, it's about making the mistakes, you know, and choosing which one. We also notice that there's lots of examples where when you put machines and humans together, rather than competing, you know, suddenly you get amazing amazing results. So in the Go, you know, playing a machine suddenly made the human better and could do things that they hadn't really done before. So, how does this work with media? You know, you've talked a lot about media and a little bit about AI. Ultimately, it's about the synergy of storytelling, the two together. You know, there's a lot of storytelling that we're not even touching, and AI can really help with that. So what are the BBC doing? So if you've been to actually right now, there are loads of people, and well done to all these great people with production, I love you guys. There's lots of people who are running this setup, right? Imagine it was just one person. That would be a nightmare. I don't think one person could do it. But with AI, it could help that 1 or 2 people to do this. And that's where it could really be beneficial. And this is some of the stuff that we're looking at right now. And we're not trying to replace production people. What we're doing is that there's so many events out there. So for example, events like this. There's like your local football teams. I play volleyball. I would love for the BBC to cover volleyball. It's so low on the priority, I understand why. There's not a lot of people that love volleyball. Actually, does anyone like volleyball? Hey, there's one person. Hey, good. Look at that, just one person. I'm a setter, by the way. This gives us the option now to actually cover more sports, more minority of sports. And I think that's really important. And as a public service broadcaster, that's essential. We shouldn't just go for the big F1s, the Premiership football, the rugby, the cricket, stuff like that. It should be the minority of sports, the netballs, the handball. I played handball. Don't get it, but I've played it. And this is where we're focusing right now, our machine learning, our artificial intelligence, because we recognize that but this is where the benefits are. So I wish I could show you more, but I've been told I'm not allowed, so I can allude to some things. So if you imagine you're behind all these screens, and you need to be able to choose the shot at the right time, because we're shooting all this with like a 4K or an 8K camera, and so we can suddenly crop stuff. So I can crop and find that one person who loves volleyball, but I can do this in real time, but it's all happening live. This is the kind of stuff that AI would be really useful to do. And you can imagine with some of the stuff that we're doing right now, especially around object-based media, that synergy of machine and human could be extremely powerful. I would love to tell you more. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to. If you want to hear more, I could probably tell you in the session, the Q&A session later. Hopefully you signed up. Unfortunately, I can't tell you on stage, but you can imagine all the stuff that I've told you already about making all these objects with all the metadata. A computer can understand what they are to range, to start to make sequences and to take shots and to understand what's in those shots, mixed together with lots and lots of kind of incoming shots all the time from all over, from loads and loads of cameras at really high resolution, with sound, with all this extra metadata about who's in the shot. You could just imagine if it was just down to one person, if it was just down to you, you would love to have an AI helping you. If you like what you've heard, we have a Slack channel, which is public, Storytellers United, and that is me done. There are no questions, so hopefully I'll see you later. Or grab me. Thank you very much.